o'clock today, this catastrophic event has deeply affected us all. We can confirm that sadly, 3 persons on board this non-commercial flight, all employees of West Air Aviation, did not survive a rather tragic incident. Of course, we heard from earlier interviews that the aircraft is American-made. Investigators from America are going to be involved together with the Namibian investigators to quite make us understand what really went wrong, because air travel is considered one of the safest methods of travel, and such incidents really sort of like wreaks a shock among the nation, among travelers in Namibia that uses air travel. Now, Tosca Sem is the Executive Director of Civil Aviation at the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority. You learned about this incident today. Of course, it came to you probably also as a shock. We have a statement prepared for us. But before we can get into that, what do you make of the incident that happened today? What are your remarks, your sentiments surrounding this accident that happened today?
Thank you very much, Mr. Saber. It's really a tragic accident, and it's with profound sadness that the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority is addressing you this evening in the wake of the tragic accident involving aircraft registration Victor 5 Alpha Sierra Bravo, which unfortunately crashed near Eros Airport in the residential area of Pioneers Park. During this difficult time, the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority extends its deepest condolences to the families, friends affected by this heartbreaking, horrific accident. Our thoughts and prayers are with them as they navigate through this immense grief and loss. In response to this aircraft accident, the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority is committed to work closely with the Directorate of Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation in providing them with the necessary support to conduct a thorough and independent investigation to determine the circumstances that led to the surrounding of this particular accident. We equally also extend our heartfelt sympathy to the operator West Air for the loss they have experienced. We stand ready to support them during this challenging time. In conclusion, the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority remains steadfast in its commitment to aviation safety as we prioritize aviation safety to ensure that safety measures are put in place to prevent such tragic accidents to occur in the future.
Now, Tosca, I would just like to understand, this is quite a rare incident in our airspace. If you could maybe explain to us what are the processes that we should expect from the accident occurred, what is the next step, and until it reaches finality, what do we expect?
At this point in time, this accident is in the hands of the Directorate of Aircraft Incident Investigation. They've actually already started to conduct the assessment, and as you rightly mentioned, they will draw in the necessary experts from various corners of the world to really determine the course of this accident. And normally there's a process which they would follow, and the public will certainly be given an update in terms of the preliminary findings as well as the final report as they conclude the investigation.
Now, you are sort of like the custodian of the airspace in Namibia. If you could maybe tell us what is the report that has reached you so far pertaining to this horrific accident?
At this point in time, the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority did receive the confirmation of the horrific and tragic accident which occurred, and that's basically where my mandate ends. All the investigation processes are conducted independently. That's why you would have the Directorate of Aircraft Accident Investigation is an independent body which is hosted within the Ministry of Works and Transport, to allow it to investigate aircraft incident and accident causes independently, which will then be released to the members of the public for us to determine. The mandate of the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority is basically to ensure that there are safety and security measures, oversight in place. We basically oversight the flight operations, we oversight the aircraft maintenance, we oversight the personal licensing of the pilots. That is our mandate in terms of Civil Aviation Authority. And that also extends to the oversight of the aerodrome operator, which is Eros Airport, to ensure that the safety and security measures are in line with the national civil aviation regulations as well as the international standards and recommended practices.
Now, just lastly, before you conclude, as the custodian of our airspace, responsible for this oversight, what would such an accident mean for our regulations internationally, locally? Are there any negatives that we can draw from this, or implications that we can expect from such an incident, or rather accident?
Let us be practical in life, that in as much as you would buy a brand new Mercedes with safety features, it does not guarantee you that you will not be involved in an accident. All what we can say at this point in time is that our role as a regulator is to ensure that all service providers are certified in line with the provisions of the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority. Be it an aircraft which is in the airspace, they are requested to be certified in terms of flight operations. The pilots that are actually in command in terms of the aircraft, they also go through a rigorous process to ensure that we issue the pilots with licenses. And in that vein, it is really an unfortunate incident that it had to occur. And if an accident does occur, that is where the role of the Aircraft Accident and Investigation Incident comes into play. Us is just to ensure that safety measures, preventative measures are maintained, and we equally have oversight and regular inspections to reassure the public that we conduct those regular safety and security oversight over our service providers.
Would you maybe just use your last words to reassure the Namibian nation watching now that our airspace is safe, our regulators are following the rules? Where are we in regards to the safety of our aircraft or the aircraft operating in our airspace?
At this point in time, I would like to reassure the public that Namibia just concluded the Universal Safety Oversight Program, and Namibia achieved a safety and effective implementation rate of 72.3%. That gives the Namibian nation and the world out there that our safety measures are in place. The aircraft accident which just occurred is one of the unfortunate incidents in terms of our airspace. Aviation is actually regarded as the most safest mode of transport, and this incident is one of the unfortunate incidents in terms of 0.001 which occurred. It is not an incident that we are happy. We are traumatized by this incident, and we really want to extend our sincere and deepest condolences in terms of the loss of this fatal aircraft accident.
Well, of course, Tosca Sam speaking to us tonight, describing this tragic incident, or rather accident, as unfortunate that is traumatizing, or rather has traumatized the authority. Tosca Sam is the Executive Director of the Namibia Civil Aviation Authority. Now, also a part of the statement released by West Air is the carrier craft, says, the safety and well-being of our passengers and crew are our highest priority, and we are committed to understanding the exact cause of this incident. Of course, from the Aviation Authority to the carrier airline, committing and saying that they are going to get to the root of what caused this accident. It happened in a neighborhood. A house was damaged, several properties along the house were damaged. Unfortunately, No pedestrians or rather inhabitants of the house was injured. That is at least as far as we know. The three passengers, the three crew, all of them employees of West Air, succumbed to the injuries. This is definitely a developing story. We will be following it very, very closely and bringing you updates as the Ncaa and West Air, and of course all the relevant parties involved will be releasing. We definitely will be following this closely and updating you as the events unfold. Wow.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saber.
Yes,
Great
we
stuff.
unfortunately have to redo it again.